Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Cisco, and I'm reaching out to the student. Okay, we got another lab here, and we're going to keep pushing these labs out because we are having fun. This lab is 3.3.13, monitoring and managing system resources in Windows. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, so we see we got our Windows set up. We're looking at the topology. Now, what we want to do is go check our content, and there go the content right there. Let's take a look at the status. Everything is up and running fine. So let's go back to the content. In this particular lab, we can see that all we have to do is part 1, starting and stopping the routing and remote access services. Part 2, working in the computer management utility, and part 3, configuring administrative tools. In this lab, you will use the administrative tools to monitor and manage Windows system resources. Sounds good. Let's go ahead and pull it down. Okay, let's take a look at the instructions. So according to the instructions here, starting and stopping the routing and remote access service, you will explore what happens when a service is stopped and then started. In this part, you will use routing and remote access services as the example services. So remember, now you're going to mess with the services that deal with routing and remote access. The service allows the local device to become a router or a remote access service. So let's go ahead and sign in. We're going to do that pretty quick. We don't have to read that. So with that being said, I'm going to drag this up a little, click on the screen, and then I'm going to come up here and do Control-Alt-Delete. There we go. We are in. Let's go ahead and log in, and we're in. Access is here. Let's see what we got to do now. I'm going to switch back over here. Today I'm going to be doing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so we got this part out the way. We got that part. We got that. And now we're here. So we want to search Windows, and then we want to go to Control Panel, and then we want to go to Networking and Sharing Center. Now, understand that the Networking and Sharing Center can be broken up into 2 parts: category view, large view, small view. Let's go take a look at that. Come back over here, bring your screen up. We're going to go to a search. And the first place we want to go to is Control Panel. Okay, it should pop up pretty quick. There it is. Now what we want to do, since we're here, we got a chance to see the small icon view. And we're going to do the large icon view if I blow this up. And we can see category. Now this is important because some network administrators tend to have it set up like this, but we just want you to know that it's multiple ways to see it. I know you already knew this. Okay, let's go back here and see what we got. So we handled that portion there. Let's bring it down because we haven't got to the actual networking and sharing. So let's go jump into that. So all you have to do is do it in alphabetical order. Remember, it's in alphabetical order. There's Network and Sharing Center. I'm going to click on that. And that gives me this. Now, let's go back. And so we see exactly that. Now, what's the takeaway here, Professor? Well, you're learning how to deal with adapters to your network connection. Sometimes they fail. Sometimes you have to make changes. Sometimes you may have several adapters in there. So remember that. This is important. You need to lock this in. Okay, let's take it down. It wants us to change the adapter settings. This is a real world example. You will be exchanging or changing adapter settings. So just make sure you know that. So let's go in here and do that right quick. So I'm going to go here, change adapter settings. And we see these 2 right here. I'm going to blow that up just a little just to have fun with it. Matter of fact, I am going to shrink that down. And maybe we can just pull it up a little. How about that? Yeah, we'll just pull it up a little and also angle this screen a little because we don't need all that real estate. We don't need all that real estate. There we go. Okay, let's go back. So we got that right there. Now, network, it says here, reduce the size of the network connection. I already did that. Voila. Okay, bring it down a little. It says navigate to the administrative tools, search window, and then a control panel and administrative tools. So we already have that open. I should be able to go down here. Well, I can just click this back button right here. Take me to here. That go to administrative tools. So all I did was click right here, the back button, and then I'm at the administrative tools. And there we go. I'm going to bring that screen, open it up just a little more so you can see a lot more of that. There you go. And in administrative tools, let's see what it wants me to do. When you get to the administrative tools, control panel, okay, we already got that. We in administrative tools. It says administrative tools window, double click performance monitor. So now I'm going to go over here and click on performance monitor. And remember, everything is in alphabetical order. So you should see it pretty much right there. Performance monitor. I'm going to double click that and open that up. And there we go. And I'm going to come right here to performance monitor because I got a feeling that's where we're going. And you can see that the performance of this particular screen is running. Okay, I'm going to bring it down just a little so you can see the full screen. This is telling you what's happening. As I click on the tools within my computer, within my network, these are the things that are happening. It's not a lot of performance going on. Meaning it's not a lot of activity that's actually happening. Let's go back over here. So we did that part. Now we're going to come here and we clicked on performance monitor. We double clicked on that. That took us in there and that's where we at now. We seeing the activity take place. So it says here, click the freeze screen. So I'm going to go back and freeze the screen. Come on, come on. Okay. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go ahead and freeze the screen. Now, from time to time, if you don't know these tools, just put your mouse point on each one of them. I already know it, so I'm going to go ahead and click right here, freeze screen. But to learn it, just put your mouse point on it so you can, on each one of the icons, so you can see what you're looking for until you learn how to do this. Okay, so I freeze the plane. Now it says right-click the graphic and clear the graphic. So let's bring that down. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the graphic, leave the window open. So let's go ahead and do that. So I come back over here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to click clear. We cleared the screen out. Now the reason we did that is because sometimes we want to get a baseline of the activity, and you'll learn what a baseline is as you move forward in this, but a baseline is what we call a starting point. So we may want to do that. Let's go back and see what else they want us to do. Let's see if there's anything else in here for us. And we're going to go right here. Okay, sorry for all this jumping around, people. But you know how it is when you're working with these tools. You got to do your best. Okay, so now it says navigate back to the administrative tool window and double-click services. Okay, so we want to go mess around with services. So let's go in here and look at services. I am pretty much sure I can bring this down and see if I can go back to administrative tools this way or maybe this way. And I see it right here. So I'm going to click on that. So all I did was click on the icons down here below, which is the taskbar to see the service that I had already opened. Now I'm going to go here and I see services right here and I'm going to double click it. Okay. And that opened up the services for me. Be careful when you double click because sometimes you can knock out something. But we don't want to do that. So we're moving right along. So we got services. So what we want to do now is expand the width of the service window so we can have a clear view of the content. Scroll down to the right pane until you see the routing and remote access. Double click routing and remote. Okay, that sounds great. I'm going to just pull this down because I know we're going to the next one. And I'm going to come over here and click on here. So I'm going to go down here to routing and remote. I'm not so much going to expand it because I know it's in alphabetical order. And all I got to do is come up here and look for routing and remote right there. I'm going to double click it. And that opens up the routing and remote pop-up box. In the setup type drop-down field, click manual. So let's go mess around with that. And then click apply. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to go right here, setup type. I'm going to say manual. And I'm going to click apply. And there you go. Come back here. Let's pull it down some more and see what else we got. Right here it says the start button is now active. Okay, we got it active. Do not click the start button. We're not going to click the start button. And what they talking about is right here. It should be active. Let's see if it's active on ours. Yes, it is right there. But we're not going to click it. So I'm going to go down some more. Then it says navigate to the performance monitor window and click unfreeze icon to start the recording. Click the remote and routing and remote access local window to start the service, then click start. Okay, so basically what they want us to do is go back to the performance monitor window, unfreeze it, then click on routing and remote, click to start. So let's go ahead and do that. It's just showing you how you can start a services. So I'm going to go back down here. Remember, it's sitting down here on my screen. So I'm going to come here, maybe there. There it is. And I'm going to go ahead and unfreeze it. That's right here. Unfreeze. There it is. And then I'm going to go back here. Why not? That's going. And I'm going to say start. Okay, now we see the activity started. Excellent. So just to know that when you're working in the IT department, you'll have multiple screens to work with. I'm just working off one screen so you can see everything instead of me jumping back and forth. So it says here, the routing and remote access panel local computer window now shows the stop and pause button active. Leave the window open. So if I come back here, I'm going to see that activity. So let's go take a look at it. And we see it right here. Okay, everything is exactly how they say it is. So we're going to leave that window open. Okay, so this should be closing this out right here. We're going to go down just a little more. So it says navigate to network connection window. Press the function key F5 to refresh the content. What changes appeared? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the networking connection window. Let me see if I can pull it up from here. Network connection. I may have to shrink things down, but that'll be okay too. There it is right there. And all I'm going to do is come right here. You could push L5, but I can just do this right here. So if I hit that, you see what happens. We added a, well, I can't tell you what happened because you'll be doing this on your lab, but you can see what just happened. Okay, without me telling you. I shouldn't be telling you this. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's go back and see. And it says navigate to the network connection window. What changes appeared? So we saw that some dramatic changes appeared. We couldn't stop it, but we can stop it. I don't know why I said we couldn't stop it. We can stop it. I can just simply go here and do automatic and then hit apply, come back here and just simply say manual and click apply and then hit stop. So that's all you got to do. That's just a technique that you learn when you work in this field for a while. And then we'll come back over here after that happened to see what changes. And you can see what's happening here. So you should have picked up on what actually happened without me saying exactly what happened if you pay attention. So if you have to look at this video log a couple of times, that's okay. Just look at the different changes that's taking place, okay? And you saw what happened in here, okay? Okay, let's move on. So that was a simple thing. What changes appeared? So that was a real simple thing to do. Now it wants to navigate back to the performance monitor window and freeze display icon, stopping recording. So I want to go back over here to here, and I want to actually freeze this display again. Once again, I'm going to come down here and look at my icons, and then I'm going to go ahead and freeze it again. Now, if you're looking clear, you see some activity done happen here when we was doing all that start and stopping things. So just remember that, okay? Without me telling you the answer. I shouldn't have to tell you the answer, Luke. You should know the answer, Luke. Okay, so now we can see it says which counter is being recorded in the graphic. Okay. It says here, click change graphic type, download menu, and click and select report. So if I come back over to the graphic, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to change. Now remember, I said earlier, if you don't know this, you can just put your mouse pointer on things that can show you exactly what you need to do. And then you click on here. This is what's going to happen from time to time when you're learning these tools. I click on change, report. Don't be afraid that you have to do something like that. And voila, there's the display right there. Okay, let's go back and see if that's what we should have saw. So in the learning process, I want you to get used to learning these tools. And it's okay. It is definitely okay. So you see what happened here. What values are displayed by the counter? I'm going to let you put in here. You saw mine, but you put what you got on your particular computer. It says click the remote and routing access panel window in the setup type field and do disable. Okay, let's go to that. So I'm going to come back down here and go over to my screen. I don't know why I'm going over to my screen, because I'm actually should be looking for this particular screen here. So let's go back and make sure we find that screen. I'm just doing this to make sure I didn't close it, and it looks like I actually closed it. Just making sure. Yeah, I did close it. I wonder why. Let me shrink this down. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so that's what we should have been looking for. Sometimes it's hidden, but just make sure you pay attention and look around. So I'm gonna go ahead and click disable. So I did the drop down, I hit disable, and it wants me to hit OK. So let's do OK, and there you go. Voila! Pretty much figure out what the assignment wants you to do. I want you to do the assignment yourself. Okay, so let me go ahead and close all this, and let's get ready for the next assignment. Okay, so let's deal with part 2, working in a computer management utility. Now, the computer management utility is used to manage a local or remote computer. The tools in this utility are grouped into 3 categories. Of course, you know those categories as system tools, also storage, and services and applications. So let's go ahead and go here. We're going to go to Control Panel, Administrative Tools, and then Computer Management. So let's shoot on over there and take a look at that word. Of course, it's easy to come here and just type in Control. Let's go forward. Control Panel. Okay, System Tools is right here. You understand this now. And then we're going to go to Computer Management. So we're going to double click on that. And there you go. Give it a few minutes to pop up. And voila. If this screen pops up, understand that's just the system back checking itself. That's one of the screens we have pop up. Okay, so here we go. Now that we are here, it says here in the computer management window, expand the 3 categories by clicking the arrow. So that's a simple process. I tend not to do it, but you can see mine is already expanded beside the last one. Now it's been expanded. Okay, let's go back. So let's drag this down a little and we see it like that. 1, 2, 3. System tools, storage, services, and applications. It says here, click the arrow next to the event viewer and then click the Windows log system. This is simple stuff, people. You see, we're just walking through the system. So we're going to go to the event viewer, which is here. We're going to click on that arrow. Then we're going to go to the Windows log. We're going to click on that. And then we're going to click system. Okay. And there we go. We're going to get at a chance to build up, but I'm going to jump back over here. And we're going to take a look at it. And it's going to walk us through the same steps right there. And that's what we'll see. So let's go back and take a look at it. Voila. There it is. Okay. Now, let's go back over here. So we're going to pull it down. It says here, double click to open the event properties windows for the first event. Click the down arrow key to locate the event for routing and remote access. You should find 4 events that describe the order for starting and stopping the routing and remote services. Now, it said you should find 4 events that describe the order of starting and stopping. So if you come here, you can see that this is pretty much what they want you to look for. Sometimes it takes a little time to find this, so you have to be patient. But let's go over here and look at it. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to come over here to event properties, which is right here. As you can see a little box right here describing the software protection, but we're going to click on event properties, and this takes a little time to get to. Remember, you got 7036 as an event here, and it's showing service control manager, but they want you to go here to routing and remote access. That takes a little time, so you're going to see me cut straight to this. I'm going to flip through it one time so you can see how slow this process is. As you see, it changed right here. I'm going to do it again, but it's a slow process. So I'm going to flip through it and get to where we need to be, but I just want you to know you just got to keep clicking to find this. So I'm going to click it one more time so you can see it. Okay, so now we see that we got event 7036 Service and Control Manager, and we come over here, we see that. Now what we want to do is just drag this down, and it asks the question, what are the descriptions for each of the 4? I'm going to let you do that. And that's basically all you wanted to do. You want to take information from that event. Now, we will go into details as we proceed to understanding why we need to bring that event up.